Nobody, I'm not asking anything from anyone. I'm not asking anyone to protect me from anything. I'm not asking anyone to propagate things that are not true to the world. I'm not asking anyone to propagate lies and propaganda to the world. No, this government will never do that. We present the fact as it is, and we expect those listening and following the government to also do the same. We are not going to run a country where we have people propagate lies on social media just to destroy one another. No, we are not going to allow that. So I thank the cabinet members and Biafrans and the media and the allies. I see a couple of our allies that are here present listening to what I'm saying. Thank you so much. Again, we know that in the next couple of months coming, we have a lot of good news coming in the recognition of the United States of Biafra by a couple of our allies. We are working on that. We thank our private lobbies that are working weekly, daily to ensure that that happens. Again, I thank all the 40 state governors and what they do. While I was there on this space, I have to also jump into the state of Alaudo fundraising and speak to them before I even came back here again. So even while I was there, I've been able to shuttle between the space and the state of Aludo's fundraising. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Yesterday, we were able to meet with the state of Igodomigodo, Eden, Igodomigodo, Esan, and Afemai. We were also able to meet with the Urobo Isoko state yesterday. Day before yesterday, we were able to meet with the state of Hamadike and resolve some of the issues they have. That is my task. That is the task of the United States of Biafra cabinet to ensure that every Biafran is happy doing what they need to do to protect our land. I want to use this opportunity to also call all Biafrans across the world to donate towards this final push. That's where we are. Donate towards this final push for us to go home and enjoy our beautiful Biafra land. Nobody is going to do that for us. United Nations is not going to do that for us. You all saw the war between Ukraine and Russia, right? It is difficult. Before the even United Nations stepped in, thousands of innocent people have died on both sides. So nobody can say our land is going to be gotten by for us by somebody. No. President Trump already have enough things, enough problems on his hand that he is solving. Just like Alberto Ibias says, some of us will be in Biafra and will be asking, when is this Biafra going to come? We're already in Biafra land. We are putting everything that is necessary at the right table to ensure that nobody can hurt a citizen of Biafra anywhere and get away with it. Nigeria is already a failed state. We all know that. The killings of thousands of Christians every year, and the president and the defense chief, Christopher Musa, he's not talking about that. No, they're not saying anything about that. They'll tell you it's former header clash. There's nothing like former header clash. It is the reintegrated terrorists they brought into Nigeria to kill and displace the indigenous Nigerians. That is what is going on in Nigeria. And these terrorists, they kill Christians and displace them. That is what is going on. How long are we just going to keep quiet and allow that to happen? No. That was why Biafra declared, redeclared on November 29th. in Latin Finland. We have our own currency. We have our own people. We have our own geographical environment. We are creating our allies. We met all the conditions to be a nation. We are a nation, whether anybody likes it or not. Nobody can make that decision for us. The people have decided to do that. And that stands. It is not, Nigeria has no right to say whether Biafra is a nation or not. That is not within their call. Nigeria is currently occupying a foreign land, a sovereign state, which is the United States of Biafra. And that is why we will continue to use every means legally and acceptable to ensure that the Nigerian reintegrated terrorists wearing the police uniform, wearing the army uniform, having their DSS dungeons, having their police dungeons where they lock up innocent Biafrans. We must ensure, it is our duty to ensure that those apparatus does not exist in Biafra land. We have a picture of the type of police stations we need in Biafra land. We have a picture of the type of jails we need in Biafra land. We have a picture of the modern amenities we need in Biafra land. It is not the Nigerian prototype. No way. All that they have in our land is to kill and destroy us. And we don't need that. All of that must crumble for the new Biafra and the new nation to rise and live peacefully. I want the world to know that Nigerian state has killed millions of Biafrans, innocent Biafrans, forcefully removed able-bodied men and women of Biafra land from our land just because they are Biafrans. Amnesty International have reported this. The forceful removal of innocent Biafrans from Biafra land is done by the Nigerian state headed by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa. That is what they do. They not only do that inside Nigeria, they step outside the shores of Nigeria on this transnational repression by colluding with unsuspecting countries like Finland to also punish Biafrans. That was why Finland is currently holding the Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ekpa for nothing except for what we do. That must stop. That is why Nigeria must crumble. It's not whether is or was. It is happening already because Nigeria is a killing machine. And any spirit of Nigeria inside Biafra land, bribery, corruption, deceit, lies will not be allowed to stand by Biafran people. We want to build a nation where the leaders are held at high esteem, where the leaders, especially those in the military, in the defense, their task is to protect the lives of Biafrans, not to kill them, not to harm them, because they have a different belief being supported by the delegitimized governors and the Nigerian state, pretending they are working for Biafra. They want to get Biafra. But in what way? Any way that is not the Onyendu Nam, the Kanu way, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa way, any other way is the Nigerian way. And that will not be allowed in Biafra land. That will not be allowed. Nigeria is a failed state. There are no two ways about it. From having two laws in one country, Nigeria practices Sharia law in the north and then regular laws everywhere. So if you are a Christian born in the northern part of Nigeria, like Sokoto State, Kaduna State, Kano State, you are forced to live by the Sharia law. You are tried by the Sharia law. Meanwhile, Tinubu will come and tell you that Nigeria is a secular state. No, it's not. There's nothing. One Nigeria is dead. It's killing people. How can you have two laws in one country? So even if you're a Christian that believes in Jesus, when you live in a place like Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano, they force you to live by the Prophet Muhammad law, by the Sharia law. That is not acceptable. Nigeria has a policy to reintegrate and rehabilitate known terrorists like ISIS, Boko Haram, ISWAP from all over the world into Nigeria. They give them homes, they give them money, they give them food, they give them anything they want. Then they recruit them into the Nigerian military and police. Give them AK-47. Send them on the Islamization agenda to Biafra land and other parts of Nigeria to kill and suppress those that do not do what Tinubu and Christopher Musa wants. That is what is active as I speak with you. That is what the Nigerian state do. These reintegrated terrorists, they originally brought them in to help them in voting and winning election and maintaining the seat of power, which is collapsing under their feet every day. But not anymore. After they voted them in, now they can't tell them to go back where they come from. It becomes difficult. You can't send them back after they voted you into power. So what do? They now reintegrate them, give them NIN numbers, incorporate them into country. Original Nigerians do no longer enter the Nigerian military and police. Indigenous Nigerians do not any longer join Nigerian military and police because the Nigerian state have populated that entity, the military and police, with reintegrated terrorists. And they kill indigenous police officers, military officers on the battlefield. Just like that. They shoot from the back. So nobody, no state can survive where reintegrated terrorists have taken over the military and the police. None. Tell me the country in the world. Undergraduate students are kidnapped from their dormitories. They are kidnapped from the schools into the bushes for months. Their families are called to pay ransom. Tinubu and Christopher Musa know the phone numbers that those criminals call with is given by the Nigerian state. Because all those telecom industry in Nigeria, like MTN, Airtel, and all that, they got their license from the Nigerian state. So the Nigerian intelligence that is labeling innocent Biafrans as terrorist financiers, they can track the phone numbers of the terrorists that are kidnapping people in Nigeria and demanding ransoms that run into millions of dollars because they license the companies that gave them those numbers. But do they track them? No. They are not their problem. The reintegrated terrorists are not Tinubu and Christopher Musa's problem. No. The problem are the Christians that live in Nigeria. The problems are innocent Biafrans that says they do not want to live in a country with reintegrated terrorists. Their problem is the continuous milking of the crude oil from Biafra land, which they send abroad. That is their major problem. As long as those areas are protected, every other person can go to hell. Every other person can die. They don't care. And then you will see Christopher Musa, thank God, he doesn't go from country to country now, come to America requesting for airplane to go and fight the terrorists. Because countries like America now, they are fully aware that the Nigerian state is the real terrorist. So when they go from country to country looking for help, looking for mercenaries, looking for plane and jets to go and fight terrorists, no, they want to use that to come against people like me, to come against Biafrans who want to leave the terrorist state. They are not going after the terrorists. They know where they are. So thank God recently, most countries in the world, the leaders have stopped giving Nigeria those things, those arms, those planes, which they go and beg for to fight terrorists. Because they know that the government is the terrorist. The government have policies to reintegrate terrorists. So what is the difference? How can you, as a government, have a standing policy to reintegrate terrorists? Then you're coming to America to ask them for jets, for aeroplane or fighter jets to go and fight terrorists. That's a mockery. No leader in the world will succumb to such foolishness. That is why Nigeria is failing by the second. I see where they sent their police to go and arrest Shawore, and they broke his arm. It's all over the news. So this is some of the things you see in Biafra land, in Nigeria. When somebody speaks up, immediately they become a target. So why break the poor man's hand just because he does not agree with your own policies, regardless of what his opinion is? Why should Tinubu and Christopher Musa send their terrorists that are wearing Nigerian military and police uniform, DSS uniform, to go and arrest Shawore, break his hand, take him to the hospital? Now he's walking around with the bandage on his right arm. Why should we allow such a nation to exist? A nation that hurts its own citizens just because they don't believe in the same policy with them. That is how they've killed thousands of innocent Biafrans, locked thousands of them in different cells, in DSS custodies, in police stations across Nigeria and across Biafra land. But we are going to bring them out. We are going to crumble those terrorist facilities the Nigerian state have in Biafra land. It's already happening. Trust me. We will do that. We must protect our people. We must protect our land. And I'm using this opportunity to call Nigerian President Tinubu to release all innocent Biafrans that you and Christopher Musa locked up across the different DSS dungeons across the whole Nigeria and in Biafra land. With the help of the delegitimized governors from the southeast and south-south part of Biafra land. Release them immediately. They have not done anything. They are not criminals. They don't try them in any court of law. Nothing. They just pick them up and throw them inside the jail and leave them there to rot. What country operates like that? That was the same thing they sold to Finland that made Finland to arrest innocent Biafrans whom they termed terrorist financiers without trying them in the law court. Just dumped them inside Finland jail, then went to investigate. And after 1 month, they came to say, oh, there is no evidence. You people can go. Really? They can go just like that. But you already have their name branded on the terrorist watch list in Finland, right? And you think that is fair, right? Because the criminality of Nigeria creeps into any government they come in contact with, just like they did in Kenya. But the Kenyan government was bold enough to go through that process in court and award Nnamdi Kanu. But the African Union, they are fully aware of what Nigeria is doing. They didn't do anything. The European Union, they are fully aware. They didn't do anything. Finland, you are aware of what Nigerian state is doing. Simon Eber reported to you. Did you bring those abuses of human rights to the European Union Human Rights Commission? No. Alexander, stop. You didn't do that. But you were quick to jump to arrest innocent Biafrans, lock them up in Finland cells, and release them because you don't have any evidence. So how long? How can Finland people trust you, Alexander Stubb, to be their leader? When you abuse the power, you abuse the office given to you by your people to protect them. You partner with the criminal state of Nigerian politicians. Now you have the price to pay. So I thank everyone, and we will continue to do the needful. I call on the Nigerian state to let our leader Nnamdi Kanu go immediately. He has not done anything wrong except saying he does not want his people to live in a country that reintegrates known terrorists. The same message that our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has passed on to Finland. So the more you hold these two innocent people, the more your integrity goes down. Because that which they seek, which is the freedom and the declaration of the independence of Biafra, we already got it. And over 50 million Biafrans are defending that freedom every single day, both at home and abroad. Do not be a stumbling block to the independence of Biafran people. I thank the United States of Biafra Defense Secretary, Honorable Solomon Kwacha, and your team, the Deputy Defense Onyame, for what you do every day to build one of the strongest military we are going to have in that part of the world. Our military must be disciplined, must, underlined with a capital letter. It's not whether you want it or is or was, must be disciplined, following all the due process, all the international and humanitarian laws to protect our people, to safeguard our people, to ensure that you don't become market women on social media, to ensure that you don't dwell on gossips, to ensure that that task which the Biafran people have given you, which is to protect them, you are doing that with all sincerity. And you are doing that without harming those you're supposed to protect. Those are the true marks of a leader, of a general, of a commander, protecting those entrusted in your care, not going personal with them, protecting them based on what the country, what the nation wants and directs you to do. And we must ensure that that is maintained in Biafra land. I want Biafrans to be fully aware and conscious of Biafrans that are being used by the delegitimized governors and the Tinubu and Nigerian state to disrupt what we are doing. Be very conscious of that. They can come in different formats. They don't mean well. That is another way the Nigerian state uses Biafrans against Biafrans. That is what they do. So you have to be very, very mindful and conscious of that. We have 40 states in the United States of Biafra land. We have decentralized military. Every commander are in charge of their state and their countries and their districts and their wards. We do not want Fulani terrorists in Biafra land. All those camps that have been given to them by the delegitimized governors like Hope Uzodinma, Soludo, Pitamba, I am using this opportunity to tell them to leave Biafra land because they are not welcomed. They are the people being used by the Nigerian state to plant mercenaries whom they gave AK-47 to kill our people. They must leave peacefully. We want them to leave peacefully. When we finish restructuring our land, we will start finding ways to screen anyone that comes into Biafra land. We protect everyone's human right. We protect the life of everybody. But they must leave our land at this time. All those lands, all those properties given to you by Christopher Musa and Tinubu through the delegitimized governors and the Local government chairmen, the Igwes that are part of that, you need to leave because we will make sure no terrorists exist in Biafra land. The mothers, the children that are there, I encourage them to peacefully pack their bags and leave Biafra land. We are ready to move into the final stage of protecting Biafra land. And we will use everything available, legally and acceptable, to defend our land. Thank you so much, everyone that have listened to me, and I yield. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.